This is my last book from Alaska, and it's called Up on Denali, Alaska's Wild Mountain. This one's by Shelley Gill, and it was illustrated by Shannon Cartwright. There's lots of words you'll have to read. I'll read the main ones over here. But then you can read and see all kinds and learn all kinds of different things from this book. When the snow starts to snow and the winds really blow, Raven comes out to play. Other birds have gone south, but curious old Raven and can endure the long, cold Arctic winters. He is a genius of birds, creative, inquisitive, and a thief. In the heart of Alaska, there's a mountain that rises so high it creates its own weather. It is one of the coldest mountains on planet Earth. This mountain has many names: McKinley, Denali, the big one, the high one, and simply the mountain. Huge glaciers slide from the mountain's shoulders, giving way to white water rivers. Wildflowers blanket the tundra for only a few short months before winter covers the land in ice and snow. This is a wild mountain. One face a paradise, the other face lifeless, locked in deadly ice. How did Denali come to be? The Athabascan Indians tell a creation story. Raven Man was chasing a girl, but he wasn't having much luck. Peeved at her lack of affection, he threw her from his canoe. Whew, was her mom mad. She set two grizzlies on Raven. He paddled as fast as he could as the bears dug at the lake's edge and raised huge waves that threatened to tip Raven from his canoe. Raven hurled his harpoon at the waves. It glanced off the first and lodged in the second, larger wave. The waves turned to stone. The first one became a set of low hills. The second, a great mountain called Denali. And Raven, that trickster, got clean away. In the language of science, the birth of Denali happened another way. Think of two giant hunks of land smashing together under terrific force. Edges fold, huge cracks twisting appear. Heat melts the stone to liquid. Sand is pressed to stone, twisting, crunching, thrusting upward as one hunk pushes the other toward the sky. Denali is unique in that it is made up of many different terrains deposited over millions of years. Remnants of ocean bottom can be found high on the Alaska Range, some from exotic South Pacific origins. An uplifted mountain, Denali rises higher as its North American and Pacific plates of Earth's crust collide and one slides under the other. This mountain uplifting continues today. Denali grows about 1 millimeter a year. Kind of crazy, a growing mountain, huh? Wild Mountain wiggles his toes in the cool lowlands and shadows of a spruce forest. Moose and caribou with huge racks and big grizzlies with waves of fat beneath golden fur live and play at the feet of Wild Mountain. Black bear, lynx, marten, grizzly, and moose live along the river drainages that flow from glaciers high above. Many of these rivers, Kahitna, Tokositna, Yentna, Chulitna, Kantishma, and Dna, Athabascan, for running water. Climbing up through tundra is like walking through a rainbow of wildflowers, but not all the flowers in the mountain have pretty names. In fact, some are pretty strange. Toadflax, woolly lousewort, wormwood, fleabane, duckweed, or how about weasel snout? In this tiny 3-inch jungle of tundra, wildflowers sway along a steep stream bed. An antler lies buried in moss, and the ground is a spongy mattress beneath your feet. Clumps of color, magenta, sky blue, wax yellow, sprout from rocky faces. Willow whiskers poke through pockets of dirty old snow. Cranberries, blueberries, crowberries, cloudberries, yum! Food is everywhere if you're a bear. Clear lakes and ponds are home to dolly varden, trout, salmon, graylings, sticklebacks, wood frogs, leeches, and mosquitoes. The tundra wetlands are nesting grounds for shorebirds and provide a resting place for the migrating birds whose destination is farther south. Hiking the tundra, you can learn a lot about animals' habits by studying scat. You can find out what critters are up to and maybe figure out when the grizzly left that steamy pile of poo behind your tent. You can even tell if a bear is eating soap berries because his poop will be pink. The bigger the antler, the higher the rank. That's nature's rule with moose and sheep and caribou. The ram with the full curl headset is more successful with the gals. He will breed more often and pass on his mega genes. Let's see. This will tell you a little bit more about some of the animals, but I'm going to keep reading so it's not too long for you. Huge bear tracks cover the rounded cut left by the caribou's hoof in the sand of a dry riverbed. There's a story here, and the ending lies close by. Wolf, fox, and eagle tracks crisscross a scant pile of bones, two hooves, a clump of hair, all that remain of the young bull caribou. The bear killed the caribou, but the leftovers feed many. A blanket of tundra barely covers Wild Mountain's belly. Small, isolated patches of vegetation provide shelter for a few hardy mountain folk. On the north fork of the Ruth Glacier, surrounded by snow, a family of carnivorous bunnies lives at the base of a glacier ridge. Pikas, known as rock rabbits, usually gather plants, dry them in the sun, and store this hay for winter. But biologists have noted meat-eating pikas in the Wrangell Mountains and suspect they are doing the same on Denali. If the Wrangell, scientists found catches of small birds stacked like cordwood in pika nests. A meat-eating rabbit? Yikes. Denali is surrounded by huge glaciers and ice fields. On the south slope of the Kalitna, Tokasitna, Ruth, and Eldridge, and on the north slope are the Muldrow and Brooks flow downhill, pushed by the weight of accumulated snow. The Alaska Range acts as a barrier to the storms moving in from the Pacific Ocean, so the moisture dumps on the south slope as snow, creating the south slope's huge snowfields and glaciers. The rivers of ice surge and retreat, and as the ice moves, it cracks, leaving deep and dangerous crevices. These 100 to 300 feet deep cracks look beautiful from the air, but they are deadly. Park Service volunteers were struggling through deep drifts at 13,500 feet when they saw a grizzly bear emerge from the blowing snow. At the sight of the humans, the bear bolted back down the mountain and slipped, tumbling into the crevice. The mountain claimed another victim. Glaciers can also be a death trap for many migrating birds that follow the wide valley north, only to find a giant mountain blocking their path. Sparrows, dark-eyed juncos, warblers, ducks, and geese have tried to take this shortcut and ended up buried in the ice. But the strangest animal story yet is the sighting of a red squirrel at 12,500 feet, 10,000 feet above the last tree. Did he travel up in a climber's pack or just get lost? On the shoulders of Wild Mountain, crisp, dry lichens go slimy in freezing rain. A small patch of grass is found at 15,000 feet. A bit of moss grows in a crevice at 17,500 feet. The rest of the view is rock and ice. But somehow tiny microclimates hang on in rock cracks where water can collect. A puddle forms and lichens grow. At 12,000 feet, the temperature rarely gets above freezing. The air is thinner and the wind is stronger. Yet these miniature islands of life cling to south-facing slopes. At 5,000 feet, patches of willow, lousewort, and saxifrage survive. Year after year, a pilot has seen wolverine tracks climbing the Straightaway Glacier in the spring to the Sultana Ridge of Mount Foraker to more than 13,000 feet and descending Mount Cross and down the Kalitna and out Pika Glacier. The wolverine is migrating across the highest part of the Alaska Range to the south in the summer and back north in the winter. Frederick Cook claimed he climbed Denali first, but later photographs showed he had a flair for fiction. Two local miners with the sourdough expedition did climb the North Peak in 1910. They traveled first with horses and later with dog teams. 150 roadless miles from Fairbanks and then climbed the mountain without ropes, hauling a 14-foot spruce pole from which they hoisted Old Glory. Each year, hundreds of climbers from around the world strike out from Kalitna Base Camp at 7,200 feet. From there, they ferry their supplies up 17 miles to a series of higher camps before attempting the summit. They try and avoid plunging in crevices, being buried by avalanches, falling ill to altitude sickness, freezing to death, and simply blowing off the mountain. Most make it, some don't. Climbers struggle to the summit to spend a few moments marveling at the beauty beneath their feet. Ravens, on the other hand, play tag here. They are the spirit of Denali, looping and twisting in ravaging storms, searching for a treasure of oatmeal and powdered soup, screaming their raspy haw-haw as they dive bomb the hapless humans. Above the wings of Raven, the only view is heaven. The end. I hope you enjoyed it. There's lots more in this book I didn't read you, so a lot of good facts. Love you.